Anything you say after the words I am changes your identity or how you perceive yourself. So, for instance, my hairdresser that I was chatting with, when I asked her, see, when she introduces herself at a party, what does she say? She says, I am a hairdresser. Her identity is hairdresser. Does she have the identity of being the owner of a hairdressing business? Yes or no? No, she's got the identity of a hairdresser. She doesn't perceive herself as the owner of a business. Does she perceive herself as an entrepreneur? Does she perceive herself as a great salesperson, as a great leader? No, she doesn't have any of that perception. Her identity is all tied up in what? Cutting hair. That's it. If your identity is tied up in the trade or the job or the thing you do, it's very hard for you to shift. To give you an example, guy I worked with, doctor. Now, this guy was one of the hardest people I've ever had to shift identities with because he was a doctor and his whole life was about being a doctor. He'd been a doctor for 30 years, 32 years in fact when I started him, in Auckland, New Zealand. As a doctor, he took his Hippocratic oath real important. It was like my whole life is about being a doctor. He didn't think of himself as the owner of a medical business. He didn't think of himself as that. All he was about helping people, about doing the medicine. I sat down with him after a period of time. I said, listen, so tell me, what's your goal? He said, to help as many people as possible, to heal as many people as possible. I said, great. Do you think you could do more of that if you had 100 people working for you or if you just did it yourself? He said, well, obviously with 100 people working for me. Finally, it clicked. Finally, he got it, that he said, hang on, I need to actually be the owner of a medical business more than I need to be a doctor. You know, yes, I can still be a doctor, but I need to be that more so that I'm focused on the growth, so that I'm focused on the building the business, not focused on the writing prescriptions every day type thing.